Assalamu alaikum, this is Baba Ali. I'm excited to let you guys know that HOD Live is coming to your city. Yes, the #1 Muslim matchmaking event in the world is coming to your city with 59% of its attendees finding a match. For those who've been to typical speed dating events, you're probably wondering what makes this so different. Let's break it down for you guys. For those who haven't been to the typical speed dating events, it's pretty much they have a 3-minute timer and they say, okay, you guys have to kind of like learn about each other really quick and decide who you want to marry. And all you have is their first name on their name badge. It's basically mission impossible. It is very, very frustrating for a lot of people, and it just doesn't work. And second, there's a lot of sisters and just very few brothers. For the many sisters who've been to these single events, you know that you're more likely to meet a female friend than to meet a potential husband. You're wondering, like, there must be something wrong with the system. Well, the problem is there is something wrong with the system, but many organizations don't care enough to change it. But alhamdulillah, this organization does, because they care about success. Now, the way typical single events measure their success is how many people attend. This is why they say, oh, we've had 100 people come to our event. And the reason why that's so successful for them is because the more people that come, the more they get paid. Well, with Half Deen, it's not about the number of people that come, but more importantly, the quality. And this is why we handpick each person and we focus on the 1-to-1 ratio between men and women. So it's not about how many people are there, more importantly, how many people are successful at these events. So the other guys, basically, all you have is a first name on their name badge. You have lots of women and almost no men. Your success is measured by the number of attendees, and there's basically no data. They literally have no idea what percentage of people were successful at their events, and they don't seem to care too much about trying to measure it anyways. So with HOD Live, what makes this so different? Well, let's talk about there's an app. Yes, there's an app at the event where you can actually click on any person's profile and see a lot about them and learn about them, because one of the requirements to come to a HOD Live account is to be part of Half Deen. If you're not part of Half Deen, don't worry, we'll give you a free trial, because we want you to be successful at this event. Just coming to an event, just seeing their first name is not enough. You need to be able to learn about each and every person at the event. So at this event, imagine you have this screen and you click on one of these profiles. I'm going to minimize my screen for a second. And let's just imagine I clicked on this person's profile here. It'll immediately launch the Half Deen website, and it'll show you how compatible you are with this person. It'll break down in quizzes, priorities, personality, tolerance, and commonalities. And even then, it goes to a more granular level where it breaks down every single quiz and what percentage match you had with each person on those quizzes. Now, if you want to go even deeper, you can actually click on the actual quiz itself, and it'll show you if you matched answers and where you answered it differently. And you can do this for every single quiz. Now, if you even like a very specific answer and you want, like, for example, a husband who's stylish, you can actually click on the word stylish and it'll filter the entire website to just the men who chose stylish. Isn't that pretty cool? But it gets better. As we're seeing, this is the first section of quizzes. If we scroll down, we go to priorities. We give each person 10 things to prioritize from the most important to the least important. And since all 10 are correct answers, there's no pressure or politically correct way to answer this. So people drag and drop from the most important to the least important. And this gives you a very good idea of what's important to them and what's not. Then onto the right here, we have their personality. We give them 36 words to choose from. They chose 9. And based on those words, we're able to analyze their personality type, find out what they're attracted to, and find out what they're not attracted to. And this helps us all determine who's most compatible with you, which personality type. Now, there's a little color code here that explains what the different colors mean. And as we scroll down further, it tells you why you would be amazing together, what type of challenges you have, and what things you like about each other. And it also has a chemistry prediction. Pretty cool, right? But that's just the first tab. But even if you go further beyond that, you can get to the deal breaker questions, where you can see what questions they care about. What we're trying to do here is do things differently, because we want you to be very successful at our events, inshallah. So in addition to all this stuff that I'm mentioning, every single person at the event, you will see a breakdown by percentage of your overall match with each person. Now, if you go further, we'll break it down by quizzes and sort it in order, priorities, personality, etc., etc. Pretty cool, right? But this is great for one level, but there's this other human element where you guys get to meet each other in person, right? So we want you guys to see that aspect of it as well. So what is, from that point on, we're going to do some unique activities at our event. I'll show you one of the very unique activities. This is actually the recent one we've invented. It's called Thinking Alike. And how does this activity work? It gives your table a question and gives you 4 possible answers. And of the 4 possible answers, A will be very close to B, B will be close to C, C will be close to D, but A and D will be different. Now, each person secretly answers the question, and then after each person secretly answers the question, what they're going to do is they're going to reveal they're going to flip their phones over and show what answer they chose. Now, if your answers are exactly the same letter, that means you think alike. That's why the activity is called Thinking Alike. If you're off by one letter, like you see C and D or B and C, that means you think similar. It's not bad, it's just you think similar. But if you're off very differently, like as you can see B and D, that means you think different. And obviously if you were A and D, that means you think the opposite. Well, we do so about 10 different questions, and every single question is important because it shows you how you think alike and how you don't on these marriage questions. And then after the whole program is done, you will be able to see percentage match with each person at the event. One more thing to mention here is that when you find someone interesting during the event, all you do is mark them. And when you mark someone, unlike social media, they do not receive a notification. Instead, at midnight, our system will check to see who clicked on who and if those clicks were mutual. If it was mutual, which means both sides have to click on each other, at midnight, you will both receive an email letting you know that there's a match. Therefore, you guys can now continue speaking. Maybe the families talk to each other, and you contact each other and talk about learning about more about each other for the sake of marriage, inshallah, and you move on from there, inshallah. So this removes all the risk, all the awkwardness, all the unnecessary phone numbers and emails giving it to each other when you don't really find a match or getting rejected in a room full of people. All that stuff is removed, because now you have the ability to anonymously find each other interesting without the other person ever finding out unless it's mutual interest. Pretty cool, right? Let's take a look at some of the other unique numbers that we have here. You have the percentage of people that match, as I mentioned here, 57% this year and 61% last year. So that's why we get an average of 59%. Only about 6% of the attendees, nobody finds them interesting. That means 94% of attendees, someone finds them interesting. About 25% of our attendees, they travel from out of state. 25%, isn't that cool? What about 1/4 of the people? And as you can see, our ratio is 50% men, 50% women. Isn't that cool? If you look at the numbers, they're very, very, very close to 50%. And some people get multiple matches. About 1/3 of our attendees have multiple matches. We even see what kind of personality, colors you are. And we notice that most of our attendees happen to be more introverts. And introverts don't like to be around large groups of people. So your events have to be unique and different for people to want to be like to come to your event. So I highly recommend you guys to come and check out this HOD live event. We're super excited. All you have to do to sign up is go to babaali.com. Yes, it's just my name, babaali.com. You'll see this image here. Make sure you click on it, register as soon as humanly possible, because we have about 300 people usually apply at a typical event, but we can only accept about 40 brothers and 40 sisters. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys. Make sure you guys apply for a seat. The organizers are going to pick each and every individual for this event, and we hope, inshallah, this will be one of many successful events for you guys, and most importantly, help you find your other half. Looking forward to seeing you guys. I will be hosting the event myself. I'll see you guys soon. Go to babaali.com. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.